Crossfire. On the left, James Carville. On the right, Robert Novak. In the Crossfire, the battle over John Bolton.
He is the right man at the right time for this important assignment.
But one behind-the-scenes player may not be convinced. Did this former Secretary of State have a role in stalling Bolton's nomination as next ambassador to the UN? Out of committee and onto the floor, the names of two Bush judicial nominees return for another try at confirmation. Democrats vow to block a Senate vote. Is Congress headed for a crippling showdown? Today on Crossfire. Live from the George Washington University, James Carville and Robert Novak.
Welcome to Crossfire. He's a bully and a blowhard, and he's President Bush's choice to serve as U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. The good news is John Bolton's nomination is at a standstill. And it's because some Republicans, apparently including former Secretary of State Colin Powell, have reservations about him.
But 5 other ex-secretaries of state are all for the nominee, a smart, tough guy who has devoted his life to public service. They praised his knowledge, experience, dedication, and drive as qualifying him for this important diplomatic post. Will President Bush get the man he wants? But first, the best little political briefing in television, our Crossfire Political Alert. A whipping boy of the far left-wing conspiracy is U.S. Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia, who is depicted as a right-wing ideologue. But people got a chance to look at the real Scalia when he was one of 3 justices interviewed by Tim Russert last night. Shown in its entirety on C-SPAN today and again Saturday night, it showed Justice Scalia to be charming, witty, and very profound. He worries about the court imposing itself against the will of the people and is outraged about fellow justices depending on foreign court decisions. If President Bush has the nerve to nominate Nino Scalia as Chief Justice of the United States, would Democrats have the audacity to filibuster this national treasure?
Well, I'm sure he's a guy that gives good conversation. Probably has a nice guy to have a drink with. I just think he's a right-wing ideologue, and he shouldn't be Chief Justice. But I'm sure he's a nice guy. Hey, Justice Scalia, how you doing? Good to see you. Boom, boom. I don't want him making decisions for me, but he's on the Supreme Court, so what the hell?
What do you think? What do you think happened when between the time that the Senate voted 100-0 to confirm him for a seat on the court, and now you say, gee, he's just a right-wing ideologue? Do you think he was on the court and he went crazy?
I think that they had the problem before. They probably just had to let him go through. I have no idea. I don't want him to be Chief Justice, but I'm sure he's a guy who gives good conversation. Oftentimes I've commented rather jokingly that the finger of God touched the shoulder of a young Cajun boy growing up in Louisiana and gave him the gift of prophecy. Well, that Cajun boy was me, and as you recall, I said during the Clinton impeachment fiasco that this was a payback for Nixon and an idiotic mistake. Stupid right-wingers foaming at the mouth and making complete fools of themselves tried to disagree with me. Today I was vindicated and proven right by none other than Henry Hyde, the outgoing congressman who led the fight against President Clinton. Not only did he say he couldn't deny it was payback for Nixon, he also would not say that it was even the right thing to do. I am humbled by my ability to see through the fog of right-wing Washington idiocy. Thank you, Lord.
Well, I love to see a humble James Carville. As a matter of fact, if you read what Henry Hyde actually said, he said he didn't know. He wasn't sure. He's an old man and he's retiring. I have nothing but admiration for Henry Hyde. He's a great American, a great Catholic, a great Republican. But you see, the thing is, not everybody is a big mouth like you, James, who's always sure of himself.
But not everybody, God's finger, come touch on the shoulder and give him the gift of prophecy. And I said that all of this is now, Congressman Hyde, he's 81, is saying, you know what, could be payback for Nixon. This could have been a mistake. Why didn't you tell us before we put the whole country through all of this stupidity?
The country really suffered, didn't they?
Sure did.
House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi has defied precedent by hounding her Republican counterpart, Tom DeLay, on ethics charges. So she is fair game for the current inquiry by Republicans. They ask for documentation to prove that a Washington lobbyist did not pay for a trip to Puerto Rico 4 years ago. The Washington Times reports that Congresswoman Pelosi has refused to give up any documents on the trip or indeed to even answer any questions about it. How can she stonewall on her own ethics when she is demanding Tom DeLay to give up every piece of paper he has from day one? That's easy. She's a liberal Democrat from San Francisco, and they enjoy special rules.
Now, wait. Now, let me get this straight, because I didn't hear you say that it's unprecedented for a member of the minority party to go after a member of the majority party in ethics. You didn't say that, did you?
I said, you want to hear what I said?
Yeah, what did you say?
I said it's unprecedented for a minority leader to go after a majority leader in ethics.
I said, but Newt Gingrich never went after Jim Rice.
He wasn't a leader.
Whatever.
He wasn't a leader.
He was a Republican House member. Yes, of all of the whatever. Impertinent, poor little Tom DeLay. Lay off a Tom DeLay, the poor little thing. Of all the goofy things that goofy right-wingers say in terms of sheer silliness, nothing could be more ludicrous than the idea that people think George W. Bush is a better president than Bill Clinton was. In order to prove our point, we at Democracy Corps, an organization which I'm one of the founders, asked the following question. Assuming that there were no term limits, who would you vote for in 2008, President Bush or President Clinton? The response, a staggering death blow to right-wingers everywhere. The weak dollar, high deficits suck up to the rich, spit down to the middle class, appease ultra-right-wing preachers of policies of this administration. It was a landslide. Clinton 53, Bush 43. People recognize that the Clinton administration, yes, the Clinton administration, did more for the prosperity of this country than any other in history.
You know what, you're at the Democracy Corps, your next poll, James, what you ought to have is Abraham Lincoln against Bill Clinton, because it makes just about as much sense as that silly poll.
Sure,
Abraham Lincoln can't ever be president again, and Bill Clinton
we could
wait, hey, I'm talking. Bill Clinton can't ever be president.
We can amend the Constitution.
Will you let me talk instead of interrupting me? Bill Clinton can't ever be president again, so it's silly. What you ought to have is Hillary Clinton out there and see if the people want her as president.
Oh, they do. We asked. She made Jeb Bush by 3, and we can amend the Constitution. We might need him back to dig us out of this ditch these boys have put us in. Is John Bolton the right man for America's top diplomat at the United Nations? Apparently, Bolton's former boss, Colin Powell, is one of the many who has doubts about that. And what does this giant baked Alaska have to do with the president's energy plan? Find out later on Crossfire.
Join Carville, Gorelick, and Novak in the Crossfire. For free tickets to Crossfire at the George Washington University, call 202-994-8CNN or visit our website. Now you can step into the Crossfire.
Human Resources just called. I got the job.
Yay! Do they call on the cell phone or the landline phone?
Most of us don't focus on how we get information.
I watched the best movie on TV last night.
Did you receive it via cable or satellite dish?
So why is the government still making that distinction? Regulating some companies more than others.
Texted me the sweetest email. Did you send it using a DSL line or a cable modem?
Updating telecom laws means fewer barriers, more choices. Now that's the future. Faster.
It's just the tip of the iceberg that threatens your retirement. The plan that George Bush and his backers in Congress have to privatize Social Security. Look below the surface and you'll find millions of future checks cut almost in half. $5 trillion in new debt. The retirement you're earning slashed. For 70 years, Social Security has been America's lifeline. Don't let their privatization plan cut it. Call Congress. The Social Security you earned isn't theirs to take.
Have an old 401k? How do you want to feel after you've rolled it over? That's why there's the T. Rowe Price Smart Choice Rollover IRA. All you do is tell us your retirement date, and we'll do the rest. You get a retirement fund that matches the date you choose. With investments we select and adjust over time to become more conservative as the retirement date nears. All with no loads, commissions, or sales charges. So who do you want rolling over your 401k? That one's easy. Call a T. Rowe Price rollover specialist today at 1-800-341-5596. They'll guide you every step of the way and can even open your IRA right over the phone. The Smart Choice Rollover IRA from T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. Request a complete prospectus or profile with investment objectives, risks, fees, expenses, and other information to read and consider carefully before investing.
It's downright right, contentious on Capitol Hill. The Democratic lynch mob fighting John Bolton's nomination as ambassador to the United Nations may be near to success. And two conservative judicial nominees, prevented from confirmation by Democratic filibusters, are going back to the Senate floor, where they finally may face a showdown. Joining us today in the Crossfire, Democratic strategist Steve Elmendorf and Republican strategist Charlie Black.
Charlie, this sort of, using Bob's term, quote, Democratic lynch mob, unquote, apparently got some support from an unusual corner. Former Bush Secretary of State, probably the most popular Republican in the United States, Colin Powell, who was reported in both the Washington Post and the New York Times as making phone calls to key Republican senators, not very favorable to Mr. Bolton. What's the matter? Y'all can't keep your party in line here. There's some kind of problem out there, isn't there?
Well, that's funny, because CNN just reported that the senators called Powell and that he said some good things and maybe some less good things about John Bolton, but it's not plain that he trashed him particularly. We have, as Mr. Novak said, we have very distinguished former secretaries of state who have endorsed him. John Bolton is the right man for the UN. Now, if Democrats think the status quo at the UN is good, anti-American, anti-Israel, corruption, sex scandals, then let's send some milquetoast up there to go along.
But why does Senator Voinovich want to throw? He doesn't know what he's doing either. He's not a Democrat. Is he and Powell and Senator Chaffee? Are they like weak-kneed, French-loving?
Senator Voinovich said that some questions had been raised about John Bolton that he needed answers to. Well, you know what? Those questions are all phony charges. They'll be answered, and I suspect all the Republican senators will vote for John Bolton, and he'll go help reform the UN, not send him up there as some go-along-to-get-along guy and turn his head.
Steve Elmendorf, another popular Republican with Democrats is John McCain, and John McCain is a strong supporter of John Bolton. Let's see what Senator McCain said the other day about him.
If a temper and an unorthodox management style were disqualifiers from government service, I would bet that a large number of people in Washington would be out of a job. It's worth wondering not whether Mr. Bolton is a mild, genteel diplomat, we know he's not, but rather whether he is a representative we need at the United Nations.
Isn't that an unanswerable argument?
You know, I think, John McCain's a great guy, but as James said, the people who are raising questions about John Bolton are Republicans. Chuck Hagel, he's not exactly a liberal, lefty, squishy guy. He's raising questions about him. The former ambassador to North Korea, Thomas Hubbard, raised questions about him. Carl Ford, who worked for him, who's a Republican at the State Department, raised questions about him. His problem is that people in his own party have serious doubts about his ability to do this job.
Well, I'll put it a different way to you, Steve. You didn't just fall off the turnip truck, and you could see
turnip boy there. Huh?
You could see that this is a coolly crafted attack engineered by Chris Dodd because John Bolton is anti-Castro. Anybody who is tough on Castro runs into trouble with Chris Dodd. He didn't even let the Assistant Secretary of State for Latin American Affairs to take office. And if these Republicans are dumb enough to play into it, they're acting like Republicans.
Well, Democrats are united on this subject, but if I didn't just fall off the turnip truck. And if you pick up the New York Times and the Washington Post this morning, two major newspapers, both had stories on the front page saying that the former Secretary of State had concerns about this guy.
You think they're objective on the Bolton case?
I wonder how the Colin Powell story
got. I tell you what I'm worried about here, Charlie, is the President Bush's ambassador to South Korea, Ambassador Hubbard. His Excellency said that Bolton, his testimony was at best a misinterpretation and misperception. That's diplomatic, but he's a liar. Does it bother you that we send in somebody who has lied before a Senate committee up to represent the United States before the UN and the world? Don't you think the United States deserves better than somebody that can't get their testimony straight? Wouldn't it be better if we sent someone who was truthful in New York?
I don't know who this guy is, but I do know. I do know that if John Bolton even came close to lying before a Senate committee, your Democratic buddies would have already proved it. They can't because he didn't.
They're going to call this guy. This guy is the Bush administration's ambassador to South Korea. That is a key diplomatic post.
He's some Foreign Service officer who probably thinks the UN's fine, just like he is.
He was appointed by
Doesn't need to be reformed and shaken up. We're going to shake up and reform the UN.
He's your ambassador. Shouldn't we tell the truth?
Don't you know this is a fight it has nothing to do with his management style, between conservatives and the swishy folk at the State Department, the Foreign Service officers. Isn't this what it's really about?
It's a fight between the squishy people in your party, Bob, who aren't supporting this guy. The Republicans on the committee he didn't get out of the committee because George Voinovich was deeply disturbed by the testimony that he heard that day.
When they have the vote, he'll get out of the committee.
We're going to have to take a break. And when we come back, President Bush's battle to get his judges approved moves forward in the Senate. We'll debate the showdown next. And just ahead, Wolf Blitzer has the latest on a plea deal for the only man to be charged in the U.S. for the conspiracy behind the 9/11 attacks.
CNN Headline News. More viewers in daytime, more viewers in prime time, with the fastest growing national news program on television. Find out why Headline News is America's fastest growing cable news network.
Who will call 911 when the airbags deploy?
Or tell us where we are when we're lost.
Who can tell us if to check engine light, something serious?
Or no big deal.
Who will unlock our car?
When we leave the keys in it.
Who can help the police track a carjacking with my little brother inside?
Someone should.
Someone should.
The accuracy you want, the choice you trust. Wolf leads the pack.
This is a very, very high-value target for insurgents.
Wolf Blitzer reports, live CNN Today, 5 p.m.
Mattress World has the largest selection in the Northwest.
No one has more brands or near as many comfort choices.
We deliver, have a huge inventory, no interest, no payments for 1 full year, and a 90-day comfort guarantee.
We beat any deal, anytime, even other sale prices.
We guarantee you'll get the right mattress without paying too much. We can't beat any price on any comparable mattress, and the mattress is free.
It's not too late to sleep like a baby. Mattress World.
Mattress World, 185th and Cornell, next to Burger King.
Vic Alfonso Cadillac, Oregon's #1 Cadillac dealer, is proud to offer the Cadillac Signature Lease. This week, drive away a new 2005 Cadillac CTS with a 4-year, 50,000-mile warranty, only $299 a month. Or choose a new Cadillac Escalade, America's #1 luxury SUV, now only $599 a month. The Cadillac Signature Lease at Vic Alfonso Cadillac. What other luxury dealerships try to be.
Now is the time to join the cutting-edge company in your community with the technology that's in demand. If you like flexible hours and the opportunity to be your own boss, there's unlimited income potential waiting for you with Comcast. Unlike the Dish, we're members of your community and are looking for motivated professionals to join our direct sales team. It's the closest thing to owning your own business without the headaches. And did we mention free digital cable and high-speed internet? Log on to Comcast.com and apply today.
I'm feeling like Mr. Lucky today. Things seem to be going my way.
Shop anytime, right from home. HSN.
Americans watch CNN. More Americans trust CNN.
I'm Wolf Blitzer in Washington. Coming up at the top of the hour, 9/11 suspect Zacharias Moussaoui pleads guilty and could face the death penalty. Why his lawyers tried to stop him. We're standing by for a news conference. The Attorney General. Tornadoes are among nature's most destructive forces. We'll talk to someone who makes a point of trying to get close to them. And critics say hip-hop has been sending the wrong message to young people. But are hip-hop artists changing their tune? Those stories, much more, only minutes away on Wolf Blitzer Reports. Now back to Crossfire.
Here we go again. Next up, Senate floor for 2 controversial appellate court nominees. Judges Priscilla Owen and Janice Rogers Brown cleared the Senate Judiciary Committee yesterday for a second go-round. Will they make it this time, or is the Senate headed for a gunfight at OK Corral? Our guests today are Republican strategist Charlie Black and Democratic strategist Steve Elmendorf.
Steve, they're not going to go again on this, just going through this this farce of not getting 60 votes to stop a filibuster. There's going to be a movement, a motion in parliamentary maneuver that's been used by the Democrats many times in the past to try to get majority rule, and it all depends on the ruling by the President of the Senate. The President of the Senate is a guy named Dick Cheney, and he revealed today how he's going to vote making that ruling. Let's listen to him.
If the Senate majority decides to move forward, and if the issue is presented to me in my elected office as President of the Senate and presiding officer, I will support bringing those nominations to the floor for an up or down vote.
Which is a majority vote. There are 51 votes. That's going to confirm those judges, isn't it?
It's really unfortunate that after 200 years of the constitutional government we've had, the Republicans are so drunk with their power, are so into abusing their power that they are going to change the precedent because they can't get their nominee. We have given George Bush 95% of the people he's nominated for the courts. We have given him more appellate court judges than Ronald Reagan got, than Bill Clinton got, than George Bush Sr. got. Yeah. And because they can't get a couple of their judges done, they want to change 200 years of American history.
Steve,
that's not the way the Senate operates.
You didn't read my column this week because Bob Byrd used this procedure of overriding the rules by majority vote 4 occasions. 4 occasions. Stopped one filibuster on natural gas on legislation, not just a judge. How do you explain? That's been done many times.
You know, this is, I think it's unprecedented, Bob. I disagree with you.
Okay. Charlie,
it's unprecedented for Democrats to filibuster judges. That's an unwritten rule in the Senate, but if the rules have changed, it's the Democrats that have changed it.
Filibustered Abe Fortas. Bob was there.
They never filibustered Abe Fortas.
Not true. Abe Fortas didn't have 51 votes.
That's correct.
These great judges have a majority of the vote.
This Republican Congress and this administration, this is what they've spent their time. They repealed the Paris Hilton tax cut. Okay, the Paris Hilton tax, because they want to give Paris Hilton a tax cut. They spend their time on ANWR, appeasing all companies. They at 1 o'clock in the morning, they appease these right-wing preachers with the Shivo bill. They appease these credit card companies and banks with some bankruptcy bill. And now they're fighting the most important thing to you guys. Just seeing it. We got to get these 2 right-wing judges in there. Now, okay, all right. When are the shoe clerks going to get in this poker game? I mean, when are we going to do something about gas prices, healthcare costs, declining income? When are we going to do something about the fact that our military is stretched to no end, that our deficit's out of control, that we have trade imbalances, that we have a crisis in immigration? When do the shoe clerks get in the poker game?
The shoe clerks benefit from the legal reform that has passed Congress this year. They benefit from the bankruptcy reform. Yeah. They benefit from the energy bill, which the House just passed, and we'll see if we can get it through the Senate if there's not a Democratic filibuster. By the way, the 2 judges you're talking about, these 2 women judges are rated well qualified by the ABA, and they have bipartisan support in their respective states. What's wrong with the Democrats in their states who have endorsed it?
Let me ask you a question. From right-wing preachers to giving Exxon more tax. You know how much money the oil companies made? You think they need a tax cut? Or you think people down there need help with health insurance? You think people out there need to do something about these energy things? You think Exxon needs another tax cut?
Do you understand the law of supply and demand?
Right.
That if we get more supply of energy, the prices will go down and the shoe clerks will have lower gas prices? That's what it is.
The Democratic spin is that this Congress hasn't done anything. I've been around a long time, and I have never seen this much done this early. Let me just show you the bills that have passed the House. Bankruptcy bill, death tax repeal, class action reform, Real ID Act, continuity in Congress, the budget, the energy bill, Iraqi supplemental, job training. But they've been working hard. You just don't like what the... Wait a minute.
Hey, you got to put the whole list up, Bob. Where's the Paris Hilton tax cut?
You just don't like the things they've done. Isn't that correct?
Well, you look at what they've done. What does that energy bill do about gas prices? What is they had billions of dollars in tax breaks in that energy bill, Bob, that George Bush was against. They had tax breaks that George Bush was against. That's unbelievable. They're so right-wing, they're more right-wing than him.
What would you do
I'd repeal the estate tax and cut the gas tax.
What would you do about gasoline prices? You don't have any solution for gasoline prices.
Have the estate tax and cut the gas tax. How about that? Put a tax on the estates over $7 million and cut the gas tax.
Well, that's a solution.
I got one.
That hurts the Carvel children.
How do they do it? You know, buckets can't make it on $7 million.
Cutting the tax won't increase the supply.
You can't make it on $7 million. Pops can't do nothing.
Hey, the energy bill increases nuclear power and other kinds of sources, and it'll lower the price.
Charlie Black, thank you very much. Steve Almadorf, thank you. Just ahead, liberals cook up yet another half-baked idea. They serve a giant baked Alaska on Capitol Hill. I'll try and explain why when we come back.
Closed captioning hours on CNN, sponsored in part by LendingTree.com. When banks compete, you win.
When you refinance at LendingTree.com, you can save up to $200 a month with a lower rate. Just think what you can do with the money. When banks compete, you win at LendingTree.com.
Thomas Jefferson. His legacy includes the Louisiana Purchase and the Lewis and Clark Expedition. The Westward Journey Nickel series from the United States Mint commemorates the bicentennials of these events with a new likeness of Thomas Jefferson on the 2005 nickel, plus 2 new historic tail designs. The nickels are included in beautifully crafted proof sets, a great gift idea for any occasion. To order, call 1-800-USA-MINT or visit www.usmint.gov.
Inside every bag of Scott's Pure Premium Grass Seed is a Scott's Pure Premium lawn. Thicker, stronger, not a weed in sight. Because Scott's Pure Premium is seed that's pure. So pure, we guarantee a weed-free lawn. Other brands can have thousands of weed seeds in every bag that can ruin your lawn. The choice is simple, pure and simple. Scott's Pure Premium Grass Seed for a Scott's Pure Premium lawn.
According to a report of the U.S. Surgeon General, women who smoke during pregnancy increase their risk of pregnancy complications, premature delivery, low birth weight infants, stillbirth, and sudden infant death syndrome. At philipmorrisusa.com, you can find links to this and other information on the serious health effects of smoking. To reduce the health effects of smoking, the best thing to do is to quit. For more information, visit philipmorrisusa.com.
I was just getting to the good part when Uncle Ernie dropped his tons. Oh, I'd seen that look before. It was heartburn. Before you could say duck sauce, I was there with my Pepsid Complete. I told him only Pepsid Complete starts to neutralize acid on contact and keeps heartburn from coming back all day or all night. In no time, Uncle Ernie was in Mushu heaven, and I had my eye on a spicy dumpling. Pepsid Complete, just one and heartburn's done.
If you have great credit, shouldn't you be treated like you do? At eLoan, you are. With cash-out refinancing from eLoan, we process your loan differently. From application to instant decision to appraisal, we do it online. That costs less, so you get a great rate with no lender fees. You get your cash out fast, in as few as 12 days. You've worked hard for your great credit. The difference is, at eLoan, you're rewarded for it. Apply now at eLoan.com or call 1-800-ELOAN22.
The new Headline News Prime at 7 p.m. Showbiz Tonight with A.J. Hammer and Karen Bryant. Then at 8, Nancy Grace does justice to legal news. And at 9, Prime News Tonight with Erica Hill and Michael Lanos. Headline News Prime tonight.
Ben & Jerry's gave us a really big scoop today. The tree huggers at the ice cream maker popped this giant baked Alaska weighing almost half a ton at the U.S. Capitol. The big sticky display was to demonstrate that they're flaming mad about congressional approval of oil drilling in Alaska's Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. The gargantuan dessert was concocted of cake, marshmallow cream, and 3,600 scoops of Ben & Jerry's fossil fuel ice cream. Protesters' battle cry was, "Don't bake Alaska." How creative. I thought environments was supposed to be all about conservation. This was just a big, gooey waste for nothing.
That probably tastes good. From the left, I'm James Carville. That's it for Crossfire.
From the right, I'm Robert Novak. Join us again next time for another edition of Crossfire. I'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern with the Capitol Gang. We'll debate the fight over Tom DeLay. Wolf Blitzer's Reports starts right now.